is we got a bunch of new parts for it.
It's gotta be the worst bearing I've ever seen.
Alright guys, welcome to a new video. This one's gonna be pretty fun. Today we're gonna take a break from the 2000 Honda 400EX that we're rebuilding right there. I'm waiting on a couple more parts to come in. Well, I guess tools, I should say. We're going to be working on the $650 400EX. As you guys know, this one needed quite a bit of work. Last video we took apart the top end and we found that it was really carboned up. We saw that the valves were pretty bad. We replaced the valve seals. We couldn't get the cylinder off, but we put it back on and it still smokes for some reason. So today, what we're gonna be doing is we got a bunch of new parts for it. I got new handlebars for it, so these crappy ones can finally leave. I mean, these are just horrible. So it'll be really nice to have new handlebars. We've got, let's see, I'll show you guys the bars here in a second. We got a steering stem bearing right here. So this one goes right in here. If you guys remember, you can hear the slop in there. It's really bad. So we got a new bearing. That should be exciting to install. What else are we getting here? Okay, yeah, very important one. New clutch cable. The clutch cable actually snapped the other day. Just clean off. It was really, really bad. You could see all the frays right here. So that was about to break any second. So I ordered up a new throttle cable and clutch cable. Here's the throttle cable. Right here. Where is it actually? Somewhere in here. I think it's in this one. Yeah, this container. So we've got a brand new throttle cable, brand new clutch cable, and then we've got another very important piece to the puzzle, case saver. Because as you guys know, this one does not have one. So that'll look really nice. I got the red one. I think it's aluminum. Billet aluminum, I think. A lot of people said this is a bad brand, but you know, if it helps protect the case, I mean, they're all made out of the same stuff, so I don't get how one could be better than the other, but whatever. We're gonna slap that on there. That'll save the case for us. And we've got the seat cover coming. And then what else do we have on this thing coming? We've got wheel bearings coming. We've got new lights coming, LEDs. We've got neutral light coming. And we installed the brake last time as well. And I got brake fluid for that. So brake fluid sitting right in here. .4 brake fluid, so we can bleed the brakes today. So lots of work to do. But yeah, let's get right into the video. All right, here are the handlebars. Not sure if they're good or not. I just bought some off of Amazon. They're like 60 bucks. So those are gonna replace these. And then to get the steering stem bearings out, it looks like we have to take this whole thing off and pound the old ones out. So that's gonna be kind of tricky, but hopefully we can get to it. I think all the plastics need to come off, handlebars need to come off. All right, we got the old clutch cable off. You can see it was bent right here pretty badly. And then just broken off right here. So frayed completely. I mean, look how bad that is. All right, we got the old clutch cable off. We're gonna try to work on the steering stem now. I'll quick show you guys what's going on underneath here. If you guys look underneath here, you guys can see there's a pin right there holding on the steering stem. And then there is a nut, and then underneath the nut is the bearing that you punch in there, I think. So what we're gonna do is take off the front plastics, take off the handlebars, take off the mounts, take off all this stuff, and then try to pull out the bar and then punch that bearing in. That's the plan. Hopefully it goes that easily, but after that's done, we can replace the handlebars with everything and get that all set up. But yeah, it's coming along. All right, got all the plastics off. Now we've got access to the steering stem. All right, Bearing looks like it's right in there. As you can see, it's really wobbly in there. I don't think it's supposed to do that, so that definitely needs to be replaced. Let's quick go underneath, see if we can get that detached here. Alright guys, this nut was so hard to get off, and these two were too. These A-arm nuts were all rusted on, but we finally got it out. That just comes out of there like that, and you can see the bearing in there. But we'll get this out of the way. Hopefully this bearing will punch out of here and we can get the new one in there. But yeah, that was a little tricky. Highly suggest you get a good impact for this because I was just really cranking on it. Those were pretty stuck in there. That seal is toast. Huh. That bearing is so bad in there. Look at that. Holy cow. That is horrible. Is there a pin holding that in? Yeah, I think there's a pin holding the bearing in. Alright, this crusty pin came out. That's what was holding in the bearing. That was really fun to get out. It's completely rusted. Check out this bearing though. Quick zoom in here, see if you guys can see it. It is horrible. It's gotta be the worst bearing I've ever seen. I mean, it's just really, really bad. Alright, we'll try to punch out that bearing. See if we can get it out. Alright guys, just used the air compressor to get this bearing brace out. This thing would not come out. It was bad. I was using the chisel gun. This is what I used to get this guy out, but finally it came out. There's barely any damage to this either, but we're gonna take a little Dremel and clean that up a little bit. But it is cleaned out and good to go to put the bearing in. This took me about an hour to get this brace out, so if you guys are thinking about doing the job yourself, it's pretty rough. But I was able to get it out. Where are the remnants of the bearing over here? Just crazy. I mean, the bearing was just completely shot. You can see, yeah, it's just horrible. Worst bearing I think I've ever seen in my life. Guys, new bearing is in. Nice and tight in there. You can see it. Moves perfectly. I just, with the heat gun, heat around the area right here, and then I cooled down the bearing in the freezer. And I didn't go right in because there's kind of a little bit of rust around it, but I did have to pound it in a little bit. And it's nice and flush, good to go. A lot better than that bearing, I can tell you that. So we'll put the seals in and then put everything back together, and then we've got the new handlebars to install. Alright guys, all bolted down, check this out. No plate whatsoever in there. Remember before it used to lift up? Nothing. Super smooth. That is fixed. Alright, here are the old bearing parts. You can see it was just completely toast. All rusted. Took about 2 hours to do that. So not an easy job. But now we've got really, really good steering. Doesn't move at all or rattle. Nice and tight. Alright, time to get the new handlebars on. Everything off. the ugly handlebars. These are just horrible. And then on with the new ones. So the new ones are a little better. Put these guys on there. Still a little lower than I would have liked them, but they're a lot better looking, in my opinion. Alright guys, time to install the new clutch cable. Let's zoom up in here. This goes on right over here. Now we just have to adjust it a little bit and we're good to go there. Alright guys, new handlebars are on here. Everything's good to go. New grips on, nice and secure. Looking pretty good. Alright, let's see, next step. We got the chain tensioner on as well. It's down there. That's looking pretty good. We painted the top of the throttle body right here. Next, I think we're going to bleed the brakes here. Alright guys, I just got done bleeding the brakes. Check it out. So the brakes are done. I think we're gonna clean up the pipe a little bit. Some guys said use oven cleaner, so we're gonna try that tip out. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, we're just gonna use the old tinfoil trick, because that always works. All right, we're gonna try some easy off on the pipe, see what happens here. Alright, let's go get the tinfoil, try that. Alright, so I'm out of tinfoil, so we're going to continue the trick with the oven cleaner, see if it does anything. I'm going to let it sit for a while, and then come back. Got some steel wool here, let's try that out. Looking a little bit better. Not as good as the tinfoil though. Alright guys, I think that's all the updates for today. We've got a chain guide coming still. We've got the lights coming with the bulbs, the neutral light coming. The new seat cover is gonna look great on it. We got the two-tone, same as that one. And what else did we get for this thing? I know we spent like 300 bucks on it. What else did we get? I think a couple other things, I can't remember. Oh yeah, all new wheel bearings. I think brake pads as well, if I remember correctly. But we're gonna put everything back on it, take it for a little rip, see how she does with the new steering, and do a couple wheelies, have some fun, maybe go on the trails, have a good old time. Alright guys, all put back together, looking pretty sweet, just waiting on the seat cover, and then this thing is pretty much complete, besides mechanical stuff like wheel bearings and stuff like that. But yeah, let's do a quick walk around. Ignore the wind. It's pretty windy out today. Looking pretty sweet with the new handlebars on it. Let's take it for a little rip and see how she handles. Quick start her up. Hopefully it starts up. Smoking pretty good out the back. Probably needs some new rings, but and then it's burning off all the WD-40 on the pipes. That's not a leak right there. But the motor sounds really good. I think this has a stage 2 Hotcams, which is pretty cool. Usually those are pretty loud though. But this motor is really, really quiet for what it is. Smoking bad. I'm guessing another factor that it could be is that the guy put the piston in wrong with the ring gaps all in the same area, so oil can go through the gaps and escape that way. That's another possibility because there's really high compression, so it's hard to believe that oil is passing through the rings. We'll see when it warms up if they seal it off a little bit better. We do have a little oil leak problem coming out of the canister in the bottom right here. That screw is a little bit stripped out, so what we're going to do is just tap it a little bit. Hopefully those threads clean up and we can tighten that thing down, because right now it won't crank in all the way. Other than that, it sounds pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I think once that seat cover gets on there, it's going to look really nice. And then we've got the new LED lights coming for it too, so it should be pretty sweet. Also guys, after the ride, I've got a little four-wheeler for you guys to check out. It's pretty cool. Also guys, after the ride, I have a new machine for you guys to check out. It's pretty cool. At least I think it's cool. So stay tuned for that. I'll show you guys. It's pretty cool. I'll show you guys how that thing works. Pretty cool. Stay tuned. Also guys, after the ride, there's a cool machine I want to show you guys. It's pretty cool. Picked it up a couple days ago. I got it running, and I'll quick show you guys after the ride. Stay tuned. Alright guys, hopefully we don't leak too much oil here. Let's quick check it before we go. No, I had it pretty filled up here, but it was leaking quite a bit, so let's just quick check the oil before we go. Might have to add a little bit if it's been leaking. People in the comments, please tell me, do you screw this in or leave it to the top? Because if I leave it to the top, there's like zero oil in it. There's still barely any oil in it. Ah! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Little puppy? Thirsty. Oh yeah, it steers so much better. Holy cow, that new bearing makes a huge difference. See if there's any gas in here. A little bit. What are you doing? Oh man. Looks like fun. Alright, here we go. See if she starts up here. See if the clutch works. Yep, clutch works. Hear something rattling there. Oh, forgot my oil cap. Huh, that would have been bad. Thank you. Alright, let's start her back up. So a lot of people said that, you know, the grinding in second gear, listen to this, well, second gear is out, or there's like a chip in the tooth, which really sucks, but what can you do? I'm watching out for the dog right now. Pretty fast machine though. It's a lot better with that steering, holy cow. Thing has a ton of pep. Thing's pretty fun. That was a good one. Let's see if we can go full out right here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Thing is smooth, really smooth. brakes all work. Pretty awesome. Yeah, she's running pretty good. Alright guys, sorry for the wind, but first ride on this thing was a huge success. Steering was great, everything was perfect on it. Suspension felt good. All the position of the hands felt good. Everything was smooth, it ran really well. Really couldn't ask for anything better than that. All we have to do is fix the oil thing, get the seat cover, and I think this quad's done. There is that weird tick in second gear. You know, I'm not going to dig into it, I don't think. Maybe I possibly will if I can't get much for it, but it doesn't affect anything on the machine at all. Still runs perfectly, goes through all the gears. What we're going to do is race this one with the 1999 400. I just want to see where this is compared to that. With that Hotcams in it, should be pretty interesting. This thing's really, really fast. So yeah, that'll be probably next video. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, I want to show you guys a quick four-wheeler I picked up over here. It's a Suzuki 250 4x4. You don't see the 4x4 option on these very often. Picked it up for 500 bucks. I think it's pretty cool. You can see 4x4, and look at all these things up here. So we've got low range, super low range, high range, reverse. You've got lock diff, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And then you got the cool 80s gauge, it looks like right there. So pretty dang cool. Electric start on this thing doesn't work, but everything else works. It worked a couple times and then just stopped working for some reason. And then it works a couple times and then stops working. So interesting. Some guy duct taped the back plastics, but otherwise all the lights work, all the electronics work on it. Very cool machine. When I got it, it did not run. The guy was like, it needs a carb clean and clean up the carburetor. Runs perfect. So I think the pilot jet was clogged in it. But yeah, definitely a cool machine. We'll quick take it on the GoPro and I'll quick do a ride around. Yeah, let's take a little rip on this thing. I was at my house, so I couldn't really ride it too much because I only have like 1/4 of an acre at my house, so we can really rip it around now. Alright, so this is kind of weird. You've got all these different gauges. When I first got it, I'm like, what the heck? But you holding the brake. I've got it in high right now, and then you just shift up with it. And then you can shift up again as well. So you can shift up in second gear. There we go. So it goes pretty good. Is there a third gear? Yep. This thing's fast. There's a fourth gear, holy cow. So it's all down. Second gear, third gear. This thing's really fast for a 250. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video for today, and you got the little sneak peek of the Suzuki four-wheel drive quad runner. I don't know the year, I think it's 1990, but definitely a cool little four-wheeler. You know, you don't see many of these smaller ones four-wheel drive anymore, so pretty cool. Anyway, we'll continue the build on the 400EX, and yeah, stay tuned for that race. next video. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Check out lap2.com for motorcycle, ATV, and scooter parts. And until next time, we are out.